Before humans reached the Galapagos Islands, before science understood how isolation could transform life, there already existed an archipelago where evolution followed unique paths on the planet. In the Galapagos, between volcanic islands, coasts ripped by ocean currents, and apparently inhospitable landscapes, life has developed extraordinary adaptations to survive, feed and reproduce in an isolated and changing environment. Welcome to the Galapagos Islands, the cradle of the most extraordinary wildlife on the planet. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give us more motivation to produce more quality content. Don't forget to comment your thoughts on the video below and let us know where you are watching this video from to discuss together. Let's get started. The black lava coasts stretch like dark scars under the equatorial sun of the Galapagos, where the Pacific Ocean beats with a hypnotic cadence. The rough basalt retains the morning heat, creating a scene of thermal contrasts between the fire of the land and the cold of the abyss. This intense heat is a vital refuge for the shore inhabitants, but the sea heights a freezing temperature that threatens to stop the pulse of cold-blooded beings. The balance between searching for food and maintaining internal energy is a constant struggle in this archipelago of volcanic origin. From the rocks emerges a marine iguana weighing 5 kilograms with scales that mimic the color of coal to absorb every last drop of solar radiation. This modern dragon is the only lizard in the world that has learned to defy the waves to conquer the resources of the seabed. Its goal is to descend to the depths to reach the green and red algae gardens that grow attached to the underwater rock. It needs to ingest the largest amount of nutrients possible before the extreme cold compromises its motor functions essential for swimming. If the immersion time exceeds 10 minutes, its body temperature will drop to critical levels that would prevent it from returning to the surface on its own. Nature does not forgive hunters who ignore the biological clock while venturing into the treacherous currents of the open ocean. The reptile plunges into the cold water with surprising determination, moving its tail from side to side to propel itself through the dense and dark water column. Its eyes scan the seabed, looking for the most nutritious patches of vegetation while the pressure increases on its adapted skeletal structure. This creature uses its long and strong claws to hold firmly onto the rocks against the force of currents of nearly 100 newtons while feeding. This physical adaptation allows it to remain stable at the bottom while its specialized teeth scrape food from the volcanic rock. The water at 18 degrees Celsius extracts the vital heat from its internal organs, forcing it to make a supreme physical effort not to lose the necessary agility. Every second under the surface is a dangerous investment that consumes the heat reserves accumulated during hours of exposure to the equatorial sun. With movements becoming heavier and slower, it begins the desperate ascent toward the shore, before the cold immobilizes its limbs definitively. The waves strike its body against the basalt, but its will to survive pushes it to cling to the stone with its last strength. Once on land, it noisily expels excess salt through specialized nasal glands, creating small white clouds above its head to protect its chemical balance. This biological filtration process is essential to avoid severe damage to its kidneys after having ingested seawater during its feeding journey. This iguana is a testament to the extreme evolution that allows terrestrial beings to conquer the ocean through physiological adaptations that defy logic. Its presence in the Galapagos represents the resilience of life in an environment where the boundary between land and sea is a daily challenge. However, the rest under the sun is brief, as a winged shadow projects over the black basalt, indicating that other predators are watching. The cycle of survival demands eternal vigilance, because in these islands, safety is only a temporary illusion before the next encounter. The Galapagos highlands are dressed in a perpetual mist, where the vibrant green of the vegetation competes with the ancient black of the volcanic rocks. The humid air flows between giant ferns, while the sound of water dripping on the basalt creates a slow and eternal rhythm in this isolated paradise. However, this apparent peace hides a biological challenge for the archipelago's longest-lived inhabitants due to their extremely slow growth rate. The risk of population decline stalks every corner of the humid forest, as the introduction of invasive species threatens to upset the balance of nests before life can flourish. Among the thickets emerges a Galapagos giant tortoise, weighing nearly 250 kilograms, a living monument that has seen more than a century of history pass over its bony shell. This colossus of slow movements is the heir to a lineage that has conquered time through patience and unparalleled physical endurance. Its primary goal is to reach the richest grazing areas to ingest the calories necessary to keep its metabolism functioning during periods of scarcity. Every meter advanced over the irregular terrain is an investment of vital energy that the animal must manage with instinctive and extremely careful precision. If it fails to find sufficient nutrients before the dry season hardens the ground, its vitality will begin to decline irreversibly under the equatorial sun. Nature demands a constant effort even from the most peaceful beings, as fragility is the fate of those who cannot adapt to the changing rhythm of the landscape. The giant moves with an unbreakable will, dragging its large body mass over the tree roots and lava fragments that cover the green path. Its search leads it through misty valleys where visibility is reduced, forcing it to trust its geographical memory, not to lose its way toward the vital food. The shape of their shells varies depending on the environment, allowing individuals from arid zones to stretch their necks to reach higher and scarcer vegetation. Additionally, its metabolism is so efficient that it can survive up to a year without ingesting water or food, processing its internal reserves with amazing and unique biological mastery. A slippery basalt ravine stands in its way toward the nearest spring, while exhaustion begins to weigh on its robust limbs. This terrain is very treacherous, and an accidental slip could leave the animal in a vulnerable position, losing the ability to regain its original balance without immediate external help. With a supreme effort, the colossus uses its muscular strength to overcome the stone slope, generating pressure of several newtons on the ground while reaching the cool mud. The tension disappears as the animal submerges its body in the moisture, allowing its internal temperature to stabilize under the shade of the millennial trees. The existence of the giant tortoise is the heart of the evolutionary history of these islands, where time seems to flow in a different and sacred way. But the peace in the highlands is interrupted by sharp cry echoing from the coast, indicating that the reptile kingdom will soon face a new sovereign. But the journey from the ocean back to shore can become a real race for survival for newly hatched young. Waiting among the volcanic rocks is the Galapagos snake, a predator perfectly adapted to this extreme land. Its slender body allows it to move very quickly between crevices and lava fields where few species can travel easily. The dark color of its body blends with the volcanic rocks, providing effective camouflage while lying in wait. Although it also hunts small reptiles and other vertebrates, young marine iguanas represent an exceptional opportunity during the hatching season. Dozens of snakes remain motionless, waiting for the exact moment to strike. Suddenly, several young marine iguanas emerge from their nests and start running toward the cliffs. That movement immediately activates the snakes, which launch from their hiding places almost at the same time. The pursuit takes place at high speed over rugged terrain covered with volcanic rock. Each snake tries to block the path before the small iguanas can reach the safe rock crevices. Some young ones suddenly change direction, taking advantage of every rock to find an escape route. Others are caught before reaching refuge, ending the race in just a few seconds. Only the fastest and most agile iguanas manage to disappear among the crevices on the cliff. For the snakes, this brief period of hatching represents one of the best feeding opportunities of the year. In the Galapagos Islands, this pursuit shows that even the first minutes of life can become a harsh test where speed, camouflage, and reflexes decide who survives. In the remote outposts of Darwin and Wolf, the deep blue transforms into a sanctuary of imposing geometric shapes. The scalloped hammerhead shark, known scientifically as Sphyrna lewini, is the undisputed sovereign of the Galapagos currents. An adult specimen reaches a length of 4 meters, moving with a technical fluidity that minimizes liquid resistance. Its most distinctive feature is the cephalofoil, an expanded cranial structure that acts as a high-precision biological rudder. This aerodynamic adaptation allows for tight turns at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour during its tactical maneuvers. With a weight of 150 kilograms, the hammerhead shark uses its mass to establish constant inertia in the deep waters. They congregate in massive groups of hundreds of individuals, creating one of the most complex social interactions of the oceanic kingdom. These schools of trackers patrol the seamounts, taking advantage of the liquid's transparency to monitor the environment. Its orientation ability is based on reading the Earth's magnetic field, allowing journeys of hundreds of kilometers. Upon locating an energy source, the mechanical pressure of its jaw generates a force measured in thousands of newtons. This technical intervention ensures the constant flow of nutrients necessary to maintain its vitality in the marine ecosystem. Unlike other solitary predators, the hammerhead shark prefers the protection of the group during its travels through the archipelago. As guardian of the oceanic outposts, its presence ensures that the biological balance of the marine environment remains intact. Turquoise bays stretch like liquid jewels among the arid volcanic rocks, where the murmur of the waves breaks the stillness of midday. The heat of the equatorial sun heats the basalt to extreme temperatures, forcing coastal residents to seek shelter in the coolness of the ocean. From the white foam emerges a Galapagos sea lion, a young male weighing nearly 50 kilograms, sliding with surprising agility. Its primary goal is to locate a school of sardines to obtain the necessary calories to drive its growth in this competitive environment. If it fails to feed properly, its physical development will be compromised, leaving it vulnerable to the constant challenges of the open sea. The young explorer swims through the crystalline water, using its sensitive whiskers to detect the vibrations of fish hiding in the depths. Its hydrodynamic body allows it to reach a speed of nearly 40 kilometers per hour, transforming it into a precision projectile beneath the water's surface. The young of this species depend on maternal milk for a prolonged period that can exceed 1 year of life, ensuring complex social learning. Although it is a master in water, on land its bone structure makes it slow and heavy against the slippery rocks of the shore. A strong current tries to divert it from its route toward the school of fish, forcing it to exert immense physical effort to maintain its strategic position. In a burst of pure power, the sea lion launches into the middle of the school of fish, moving with a skill that defies the laws of physics. Its jaws close with a force of several newtons, ensuring the necessary sustenance while the water is stirred by the energy of the encounter. The presence of these mammals is essential for the balance of the bays, acting as regulators of fish populations in the archipelago. The success of this journey ensures its vitality, allowing it to continue enjoying the safe refuge provided by the warm waters of the islands. However, the sky darkens with the silhouette of a winged predator watching from the air, preparing a descent that will test the calm of the coast. Under the equatorial sun, in arid areas where basalt meets the dust, resides an inhabitant of absolute endurance. The Galapagos land iguana, scientifically named Conolophus subcristatus, is the undisputed sovereign of the volcanic plains. Its scaly skin in tones of yellow and copper gives it a unique visual identity in the geography of the archipelago. Unlike its marine relative, it possesses robust limbs designed to move fluidly over solid and rugged relief. An adult specimen can reach a mass of up to 13 kilograms, demonstrating remarkable physical power for its biological scale. Its survival depends closely on the opuntia cactus, which provides it with both organic energy and vital hydration. It uses its jaw to process the cactus pads, neutralizing the threat of the spines with superior technical skill. As an ectothermic inhabitant, it regulates its internal temperature by seeking solar radiation or the refuge of its underground burrows. During the dry season, it faces severe water restriction, forcing its metabolism to enter a state of maximum savings. Females travel distances of several kilometers to the highlands to deposit their eggs in stable thermal conditions. As a seed disperser, it ensures the regeneration of native flora, maintaining the biological harmony in the heart of the Galapagos. On the rocky shores of Fernandina and Isabella resides a bird that has defied conventional laws of natural aviation to master the abyss. The flightless cormorant, technically named Phalacrocorax harrisi, is the only one of its family that has renounced the sky for the sovereignty of the liquid. Its wings are vestigial structures, reduced to a third of the size necessary for flight, but transformed into tools of hydrodynamic precision. It possesses massive lower limbs that generate constant propulsion power, allowing it to navigate currents with superior technical skill. Upon locating an energy source, it plunges into a controlled descent, reaching depths where winged trackers cannot intervene. Its jaw is designed to capture fish and octopuses between the fissures of the submerged volcanic relief with millimetric precision. Its sovereignty is fragile, limited to a geography of barely a few kilometers of coastline, which makes it highly vulnerable to any alteration. After each aquatic encounter, it remains motionless on the basalt, spreading its reduced wings to recover its thermal balance under the equatorial sun. This inhabitant is a living testimony to natural selection, proving that extreme specialization is the key to success in this archipelago. As a pillar of coastal biodiversity, the flightless cormorant ensures that the biological dynamism of the shores remains in absolute harmony. The equatorial sun punishes the black lava rocks with a scorching intensity, while the Pacific waves break against the rugged coast of the Galapagos. Beneath the surface's glitter, the water hides a frozen secret brought by currents flowing from the depths of the abyss. The thermal balance is extremely fragile, as a subtle increase in oceanic temperature can transform this oasis into a biological desert without nutrients. The warming cycles known as El Niño threaten to push away schools of fish, leaving the shore residents in a situation of extreme vulnerability. Between the basalt crevices appears the Galapagos penguin, a small bird of barely 2.5 kilograms that defies geographical logic by living on the equator line. Its dense and waterproof plumage is biological armor that allows it to maintain its internal heat while navigating through the cold currents of the archipelago. Its primary goal is to locate a school of small fish to obtain the calories needed to ensure the growth of its hungry chicks. Every dive is an act of courage and precision, where the bird must calculate each movement to optimize oxygen consumption at depth. If it fails in this day of searching, weakness will begin to affect its offspring, risking the survival of the world's rarest penguin species. Nature demands constant results, because in these islands, the lack of food is a challenge that does not allow second chances. The bird plunges into the water with surprising agility, transforming its body into a hydrodynamic projectile that cuts through the surface without generating almost any turbulence. Its eyes are adapted to see clearly underwater, allowing it to track the silvery reflections of its prey in the middle of the oceanic gloom. To thrive, it strictly depends on the Cromwell current, which brings nutrient-rich waters at a temperature of 15 degrees Celsius from the deep west. This cold water flow is the engine that sustains the life of these penguins, allowing them to find the biomass necessary to feed their accelerated metabolism. The underwater terrain presents strong currents that generate a force of several newtons, forcing the penguin to make a supreme physical effort not to be diverted from its course. The risk of exhaustion is real, but its instinctive will pushes it forward despite the water's pressure on its small chest. Upon detecting the school of sardines, the penguin reaches a speed of 20 kilometers per hour, making sharp turns to disorient its prey. In a burst of energy, it coordinates its movements with other members of its group to surround the fish and ensure the success of the encounter. Victory ensures that the bird can return to shore with a full stomach and enough energy to protect its chicks from the equatorial sun. Its internal temperature remains stable thanks to the effectiveness of its plumage, proving that adaptation is the key to living on the frontiers of the impossible. The Galapagos penguin is a sentinel for the health of the oceans, whose existence reminds us of the interconnection between deep currents and life on the surface. Its ability to inhabit the equator is a testimony to nature's resilience in the face of the most demanding climatic challenges. However, while the small navigator rests on the black basalt, an immense and silent shadow moves beneath the waters of the nearby reef. A new predator with a steel silhouette approaches from the deep blue, indicating that the peace of the coast is always a temporary balance. Over the turquoise currents of the Galapagos, a figure of vibrant colors claims its position as the visual ambassador of the archipelago. The blue-footed booby, scientifically named Sula nebuxi, is the monarch of elegance and aerial dexterity in these coordinates. Its electric blue limbs are an indicator of its biological health, the result of carotenoid pigments from its marine diet. During the courtship ritual, the male displays a rhythmic dance, lifting its feet with a cadence that seeks to ensure harmony with its partner. Its physiognomy is designed for hydrodynamic interception, with an aerodynamic body that minimizes friction with air and liquid. It possesses high-definition binocular vision, allowing it to locate schools of fish from an altitude of up to 30 meters. When patrolling the open ocean, the colony flies in coordinated formations, monitoring the surface with absolute vigilance. Upon detecting the silvery flash of a prey, the leader emits an acoustic signal that activates immediate collective intervention. In an instant, the birds fold their wings back, becoming organic projectiles directed toward the deep blue. The vertical descent reaches a phenomenal speed of 97 kilometers per hour before breaking the surface tension of the liquid. Its skull features frontal air sacs that act as shock absorbers to absorb the mechanical pressure of the impact. Once submerged, it uses its feet to navigate precisely and capture its sustenance before it can react. The synchrony of the group is amazing, with dozens of individuals emerging simultaneously after the success of their biological encounter. As a regulator of coastal fish populations, the blue-footed booby ensures the marine ecosystem's balance remains healthy. This wonder of evolution is the vibrant soul of the Galapagos, a symbol of power and elegance reigning between the sky and the sea. In the shadows of volcanic caves and among the most rugged terrains of the archipelago, a sentinel of absolute discretion resides. The Galapagos fur seal, scientifically named Arctocephalus galapagoensis, is the smallest and most mysterious pinnipede of these coordinates. adult specimen possesses a compact structure that reaches a mass of up to 65 kilograms in the most dominant males. Its most imposing feature is its dense and multi-layered coat, designed to provide superior thermal insulation in the aquatic environment. Unlike other inhabitants, it prefers the refuge of shady crevices to protect its organism from the intense solar radiation of the equator. This nocturnal tracker uses the darkness to patrol deep currents, avoiding direct competition with other diurnal predators. Its vibrissae, or whiskers, act as high-frequency tactile radars, picking up the displacement of the liquid caused by its targets. It possesses a phenomenal diving capacity, managing to reach depths of up to 170 meters to locate vital energy sources. Its diet is based on the technical interception of squid and fish that migrate vertically toward the surface during the night. When compared to the sea lion, the fur seal demonstrates superior agility in rugged basalt terrain thanks to its light physiognomy. Its biological sovereignty faces critical challenges when ocean temperature rises due to extreme climatic cycles. During El Niño events, nutrient scarcity subjects its population to a metabolic pressure that threatens its structural stability. Females protect their family unit in the coolest corners of the coast, ensuring the lineage persists under safe thermal conditions. As a key piece of the marine food web, the fur seal ensures that the dynamism of deep waters remains in constant balance. The Galapagos fur seal is the guardian of coastal shadows, a wonder of evolution that reigns with a silent and powerful elegance. In the aerial theatre of the Galapagos, a tracker emerges who does not seek its sustenance in the depths, but in the dexterity of others. The magnificent frigate bird, technically named Fregata magnificens, is known as the undisputed pirate of the equatorial skies. It possesses a wingspan of 2.5 meters, the largest in proportion to its body mass of barely 1.5 kilograms, allowing it to float with minimum expenditure. Unlike other winged inhabitants, its plumage lacks waterproof oils, which prevents it from diving to ensure its biological encounter. This structural limitation turns it into a master of acrobatics and persistence, capable of remaining in the air for consecutive weeks. From the upper thermal currents, the frigate bird monitors the return of the blue-footed boobies carrying the nutrients obtained at sea. Upon identifying its target, it initiates a technical pursuit, using its forked tail to perform high-speed and precision maneuvers. It harasses the other bird in mid-flight, applying a constant and strategic pressure through pecks and wing tugs. This intense biological interaction forces its opponent to yield the captured energetic resource to achieve a safe retreat. With phenomenal dexterity, the frigate bird intercepts the nourishment in the air before the oceanic liquid reclaims the organic matter. Its presence establishes a power dynamic that regulates the energy flow between different levels of the island's food web. The magnificent frigate bird is the symbol of biological ingenuity and aerial sovereignty, a wonder of evolution reigning with supreme authority. On the black basalt of the volcanic shores, a burst of color emerges that challenges the sobriety of the mineral relief. The Sally Lightfoot crab, scientifically named Grapsus grapsus, is the most vibrant and dynamic inhabitant of the Galapagos coasts. Its shell presents intense red and orange hues, creating a visual contrast that turns it into a jewel of the coastline. This crustacean is an athlete of the rocks, capable of moving with an agility that seems to ignore the complexity of the rugged terrain. Its articulated limbs allow it to perform jumps and quick changes of direction to evade the force of the waves breaking on the shore. It possesses an advanced optical system that monitors the environment constantly, detecting any sign of movement from possible trackers. The crab establishes a technical relationship of cooperation with marine iguanas, removing parasites from their skin in a vital biological exchange. As a cleaner of the ecosystem, its diet is based on the processing of organic matter and algae that grow on the humid basalt. Its role as a scavenger ensures that beaches remain free of decomposing remains, maintaining the health of the coastal geography. Faced with a threat, it uses its reaction speed to take refuge in deep crevices where access for other beings is limited. Its light mass allows it to climb vertical walls of volcanic rock, defying gravity with admirable technical dexterity. The Sally Lightfoot crab is the chromatic guardian of the tides, a small motor of vitality that maintains the biological balance of the archipelago. In the dry forests of the islands, tiny winged inhabitants keep the secret that transformed our understanding of wildlife forever. Darwin's finches, belonging to genera such as Geospiza and Camarynchus, are the biological monuments of evolution in real time. From a single common ancestor, these beings have deployed a phenomenal adaptive radiation across the entire geography of the archipelago. Their physiognomy has been molded by natural selection, resulting in a variety of specialized beaks for each specific ecological niche. The large ground finch possesses a massive and robust beak that exerts pressure measured in newtons to crush seeds of extreme hardness. In contrast, the woodpecker finch uses its thin and sharp beak like a surgical needle to access small invertebrates within the tree bark. The cactus finch has developed an elongated morphology that allows it to interact with opuntia flowers without suffering structural damage. The geographical fragmentation of the islands has allowed each population to perfect its survival tactics independently and efficiently. These small birds demonstrate that variability is the definitive tool to ensure the persistence of a lineage in a changing environment. With a body mass of barely 20 grams, their optimized metabolism allows them to process specific nutrients with amazing technical quickness. As architects of biodiversity, their presence regulates the growth of flora and the density of insects in every corner of the archipelago. Darwin's finches are the guardians of biological intelligence, a masterpiece of nature that continues to reign in Galapagos. In the arid relief of the islands, another winged inhabitant expands the legacy of natural selection with unparalleled intelligence and curiosity. The Galapagos mockingbird, belonging to the genus Mimus, is the tireless explorer that masters the dry thickets and solid lava zones. Like the finches, these birds have diverged into 4 distinct species across the archipelago's geography, adapting to each island. They possess a slightly curved and robust beak, a precision tool designed to process an extremely flexible and varied diet. With a mass of barely 0.05 kilograms, their lightness allows them to patrol the rugged relief with superior technical agility. They are known for their bold behavior, monitoring the presence of other beings with absolute vigilance and audacity in their domain. In conditions of severe water restriction, they have developed extreme survival tactics, such as obtaining moisture from eggs or the blood of other inhabitants. Their social structure allows them to coordinate group searches, optimizing the capture of small invertebrates between the volcanic basalt crevices. The mockingbird is capable of traveling distances of several kilometers daily in search of resources, challenging constant equatorial thermal radiation. They communicate through complex territorial calls that resonate in the air, establishing sovereignty boundaries around opuntia cacti and carob trees. This species was fundamental for Charles Darwin to understand that isolated populations transform according to the requirements of their specific geography. The Galapagos mockingbird is the sentinel of biological variability, a wonder of adaptation reigning with insatiable curiosity. In the epicenter of the Pacific, a phenomenal geological power emerges from the depths to sculpt the destiny of life. The Galapagos Islands are the direct result of a volcanic hotspot that has operated for millions of years with absolute force. Each archipelago is born from a massive thermal explosion that lifts magma until breaking the surface of the oceanic liquid. The volcanic relief, composed mainly of basalt, creates a mineral geography of superior hardness and structural resistance. The youngest islands, such as Fernandina and Isabella, maintain constant activity with calderas that reach diameters of several kilometers. Initially, these lava fields are inanimate deserts, where solar radiation and thermal heat prevent any trace of biomass. However, lichens and lava cacti are the primary colonizers that start the millimetric biological transformation process. With the passing of centuries, erosion disintegrates solid rock to create a fertile soil capable of sustaining native vegetation. Seeds transported by air currents and the ocean find a refuge in these volcanic niches to germinate successfully. Insects are the first to establish dynamic interactions, attracting terrestrial trackers toward the new mineral relief. Reptiles, such as the land iguana, occupy the lava tubes that offer stable thermal protection against the outside climate. The energy flow expands to the summits of the volcanoes, where humidity allows the development of lush Scalesia forests. This ecological succession proves that igneous destruction is the fundamental motor for the renewal and diversity of the archipelago. The volcanic architecture of Galapagos is a masterpiece of time, a geography that breathes and evolves under the sovereignty of fire. Understanding the origin of these islands is recognizing the power of the Earth to create life from absolute mineral chaos. Beneath the Pacific waves, a blue and frigid force moves through deep underwater canyons invisible to the human eye. This oceanic artery flows with an ancestral determination, carrying the secret of life from the remotest and darkest reaches of the abyss. Without this constant flow of cold water, the archipelago would transform into a biological desert suffocated by the relentless heat of the equatorial sun. The absence of nutrients would condemn thousands of species to extreme fragility, breaking the chain that sustains the abundance of these volcanic islands. The Humboldt and Cromwell currents act as the silent titans, pumping vital energy toward the surface of the Galapagos Ocean. While the first travels from the south, the second moves along the equator, striking the base of the islands to emerge with force. The upwelling phenomenon pushes deep waters laden with nitrates and phosphates toward the photic zone, where sunlight initiates the miracle. This process generates pressure of several newtons on the water column, causing an explosion of microscopic life that tints the blue with green tones. The Cromwell Current reduces the ambient temperature from 25 degrees Celsius to only 15 degrees Celsius in the most productive diving zones. This thermal drop is what allows creatures adapted to the cold, like the Galapagos penguin, to thrive right on the equatorial line. Phytoplankton multiply rapidly, feeding billions of crustaceans that in turn attract immense schools of silvery and agile fish. The search for food becomes frenetic as predators of all levels converge on the points where cold water reaches the surface. Seabirds plunge from the sky at 80 kilometers per hour, while sea lions patrol the edges of the reef with impeccable motor skills. Each species takes advantage of the richness transported by the currents to accumulate the fat reserves necessary to ensure their survival in this environment. A shark weighing 200 kilograms cuts through the water with absolute hydrodynamic efficiency, following the chemical trail of biological abundance. The balance of the marine ecosystem depends on these currents continuing to deliver the fuel needed, so the cycle of life does not stop. Galapagos is a testimony to global interconnection, where the movement of oceanic waters defines the existence of beings that seem to belong to different worlds. The union of warm oceans and frigid currents creates a unique sanctuary of biodiversity that defies all laws of geography. However, the flow of waters is changing due to global climatic alterations that threaten to weaken the force of the vital upwelling. A shadow of uncertainty is projected over the future of the shore inhabitants, while the sea continues whispering the secrets of its eternal power. The perfect rhythm of marine upwelling is altered by a mass of warm water advancing from the western Pacific, silencing the cold pulse of the Cromwell Current. This phenomenon, known as El Niño, envelops the archipelago in a suffocating embrace that disrupts the habitual life cycle of thousands of species. By increasing the surface temperature up to 5 degrees Celsius above normal, the thermal barrier prevents nutrients from the bottom from reaching the photic zone. Without the fuel of nitrates and phosphates, phytoplankton disappear rapidly, leaving the base of the food pyramid in a state of absolute fragility. Schools of fish flee toward deeper and colder zones where the pressure is higher, becoming unreachable for penguins and shallow diving seabirds. The sea transforms into a blue desert where hunger begins to weigh on the shore inhabitants who depend on the ocean's daily abundance. The marine iguana suffers from the scarcity of green algae, forcing its organism to undergo an amazing process of bone reabsorption to reduce its physical size. This survival mechanism allows the reptile to consume less energy and reduce its metabolic rate, while waiting for the ecosystem to regain its original thermal balance. Sea lions struggle to feed their young, while mothers must travel many additional kilometers to find the sustenance that no longer exists in local bays. Tension in the colony increases, and the weakness of the youngest becomes evident in the absence of the nutritious milk necessary for their physical development. This global climatic imbalance proves that the Galapagos is an interconnected system where the health of each individual strictly depends on the stability of ocean currents. El Niño is a trial by fire that selects the fittest, forcing nature to develop resilience strategies in the face of environmental adversity. Moisture-laden clouds over the basalt announce that the climate is changing drastically, bringing unknown challenges for the island's inhabitants. However, in the midst of the crisis, a majestic shadow glides under the warm waters, revealing that the cycle of life always seeks a new way to prevail. The wind whistles over the volcanic peaks of the Galapagos, where the silence of the rocks hides an invisible battle that alters the balance of millions of years. Mist covers the basalt slopes, protecting a biodiversity that does not exist in any other corner of planet Earth. But the greatest threat does not come from volcanoes or storms, but from beings that arrived on ships and do not belong to this isolated world. Rats, cats, and goats have become invaders that consume vegetation and destroy the nests of the island's original inhabitants. A giant tortoise hatchling weighing barely 0.5 kilograms emerges from the sand, seeking the safety of the bushes before the sun heats the ground. Its life is a miracle of endurance, but its weakness is absolute against the predators patrolling the area with hungry eyes. Its goal is to reach maturity in an environment where every centimeter of ground gained is a victory against the intruders seeking its doom. The protection of its lineage depends on the beaches and forests regaining the peace that human explorers interrupted centuries ago. If the invaders win this battle, the ecosystem will collapse, causing the extinction of unique species that have survived the fury of volcanoes and the sea. Nature's failure would be irreversible, leaving a stone desert without the song of birds or the slow step of giants. Feral domestic cats use their agility and night vision to locate seabirds nesting on the most remote cliffs of the archipelago. They track the scent of wildlife with efficiency that local animals do not know how to avoid, since they did not evolve with such threats. Investigations indicate that introduced goats wiped out thousands of hectares of native vegetation, altering the availability of water for tortoises and iguanas. A single cat can consume dozens of endemic birds in a year, generating a devastating impact on biodiversity that scientists are urgently struggling to reverse. Final effort. A team of park rangers manages to successfully free an entire island from the presence of rats, allowing tortoises to be reborn in their original habitat after decades of silence. The success of this mission is a burst of hope where life reclaims its place on the black basalt and white sand. The restoration of the Galapagos proves that human will can repair the damage caused and return balance to the world's most fragile ecosystems. Each animal species returning to its home is a testament to life's resilience and the importance of protecting the Earth's biological sanctuaries. However, the archipelago remains under constant surveillance as new shadows move at the boundaries of the marine reserve, bringing unexpected challenges from the open ocean. The peace of the islands is a treasure we must guard before the next encounter changes the rules of the game forever. The archipelago emerges as a basalt fortress where black lava meets the deep blue of the Pacific under the equatorial sun. From the misty summits to the burning shores, geography dictates a rhythm of existence that is not repeated anywhere else on Earth. The fragility of this paradise lies in its extreme isolation, where every change in currents or climate can alter the fate of its millennial inhabitants. The pressure of the outside world is evident in every wave that hits the shore, reminding us that the peace of the islands is a balance requiring constant vigilance. Here the giants return, like the Galapagos tortoise and the marine dragon, moving between ash fields and coral reefs with ancestral dignity. Penguins and sea lions complete this biological mosaic, proving that life has found a way to thrive in the most unusual conditions. The common goal of these beings is to maintain the legacy of evolution, ensuring that each new generation can inherit a world that has remained almost intact for millennia. Their survival is a silent struggle to preserve the harmony between volcanic fire and the freshness of the vast ocean. If the balance is broken, the result would be the disappearance of the clearest testimonies of biological adaptation on our blue planet. The end of this sanctuary would mean the silence of the beaches and the oblivion of the life strategies that took millions of years to perfect. Science teaches us that geographical isolation allowed animals to develop unique traits, such as iguanas that expel salt through their noses with a force of several newtons. This laboratory of nature shows how the lack of terrestrial predators allowed birds and reptiles to shed their original fear of other beings. The biggest obstacle to biodiversity is the speed of global change that exceeds the natural adaptation capacity of the slowest inhabitants of the volcanic islands. The climax of this story is decided now, in the protection of each lava beach and every corner of the sea where life struggles to prevail. The result of protecting the Galapagos is ensuring one of humanity's greatest treasures, a place where evolution manifests with astonishing and unique clarity. The meaning of these islands transcends their borders, reminding us that we are the guardians of a biological heritage that defines our own existence on Earth. The sun sets behind millennial craters, while sea lions rest on white sand under the eternal gaze of equatorial stars. However, the murmur of the waves brings a new mystery, indicating that the journey of life in the Galapagos is a cycle that will never stop surprising us. Please subscribe to the channel and share this video to spread the message of respect. Every action helps protect nature's wonderful creation. Before humans reached the deepest point on the planet, before science understood how life exists under extreme pressure, there already existed a world where darkness hid creatures that were almost unknown. In the Mariana Trench, among silent abysses, absolute cold, and endless darkness, strange creatures still survive, hunt, and evolve in ways that challenge human understanding. Welcome to the Mariana Trench, unknown creatures in the deepest abyss. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to have more motivation to produce more quality content. Don't forget to comment your thoughts on the video below and let us know where you are watching this video from to discuss together. Let's begin. In the deepest place on the planet, where light never reaches, a silent predator exists. The Mariana snailfish masters a world that could crush almost any other living creature. Its territory stretches within the Mariana Trench in the western Pacific, at depths of 6,000 to 8,000 meters. No other known fish can survive such devastating pressure. Its soft and almost transparent body is not a weakness, but a masterpiece of evolution. The absence of hard bones and a swim bladder helps it withstand pressure thousands of times greater than at the sea surface. It is only about 10 to 30 centimeters long, a modest size for such a resilient predator. Its jelly-like skin protects organs that in any other animal would be destroyed by water pressure. Its most important biological weapon is a chemical compound called trimethylamine oxide, accumulated in body tissues. This molecule helps stabilize proteins and prevents its body from collapsing under extreme pressure. On the mud plains, at depths from 7,000 to 8,000 meters, the search for food begins. Its small eyes detect slight movements in the absolute darkness of the ocean floor. Its main prey are amphipods, small crustaceans that crawl on the sediment layer. With slow but precise movements, the snailfish approaches without creating vibrations that could reveal its location. As the dominant predator of the Hadal zone, the Mariana snailfish maintains the balance of an ecosystem where very few species can exist. Its presence proves that life always finds a way to thrive, even at the planet's most extreme limits. Deep in the heart of the western Pacific lies the deepest trench ever recorded on the Earth's surface, the Mariana Trench. With a length of approximately 2,550 kilometers and an average width of 69 kilometers, this gigantic crack winds under the ocean floor like a great scar of the planet. Its deepest point, known as the Challenger Deep, reaches nearly 11,000 meters below sea level, a depth that even exceeds the height of Mount Everest. This vastness was not a coincidence, but the result of a geological process called subduction, where one tectonic plate sinks beneath another. In this case, the Pacific Plate, older and denser, slides slowly beneath the Philippine Sea Plate, which is younger and lighter. The subduction angle in this area is particularly steep, exceeding 60 degrees of inclination in many sections. This extreme inclination is the main reason why the trench reaches such extraordinary depths compared to other subduction zones in the world. As the plate sinks, huge cracks and faults form in the oceanic crust, releasing pressures accumulated over millions of years. Seawater seeps through these cracks and penetrates deep into the upper mantle, changing the chemical composition of the rocks. The contact between water and mantle rocks produces a mineral called serpentine, the presence of which reduces friction between the plates. The constant movement of the plates, along with the release of accumulated energy, causes earthquakes that can originate at a depth of more than 600 kilometers. In that way, the Mariana Trench continues to transform slowly, a silent witness to the colossal forces shaping the Earth's crust. In the depths of the ocean trench, a fragment of a carcass begins to sink slowly for many days before touching the bottom. Absolute darkness and terrifying pressure turn every centimeter of the falling journey into a trip into the unknown land. As soon as the scent spreads in the freezing water, hundreds of hadal amphipods appear from the crevices on the seafloor. These small crustaceans, only a few centimeters long, possess chemical sensing abilities that can detect food from kilometers away. In just a few minutes, the prey's carcass disappears under a mass of living organisms crowding and devouring it restlessly. Competition becomes fierce because in an environment where food appears only every few months, every bite can be the boundary between survival and disappearance. Adapted to pressure more than 1,000 times that on the sea surface, these crustaceans have developed a flexible shell and special enzymes that prevent cells from being crushed. Their transparent bodies and slow metabolism help them survive where no conventional predator could stay alive. In the deeper abysses, where light never reaches, the goblin shark displays a face like something out of an evolutionary nightmare. Its strangest feature is a long and flat snout, containing thousands of ampullae of Lorenzini to detect tiny electrical fields. As a slow-moving swimmer, this predator prioritizes silent stalking to save energy in a resource-scarce environment. When it detects prey, its protrusible jaw shoots forward at an amazing speed, extending far beyond its head. This movement creates a powerful suction force that pulls the victim into needle-sharp teeth in just an instant. With a flabby body reaching 4 meters in length, this shark is a living fossil that has perfected the art of ambush in the deep ocean. Its survival depends on the precision of this unique attack, a biological marvel that ensures its dominance in the absolute abyss. On the abyssal plains, where pressure has a terrible destructive force, giant xenophaephores reside, a marvel of single-celled life. Although its shape is reminiscent of a mystical coral, this organism is actually a single cell reaching a size of 20 centimeters. This microscopic giant builds its own external skeleton by binding sediment particles and mineral debris collected from the seafloor. Without having to actively hunt, it extends thin cellular threads to trap organic particles falling from the surface waters. Its complex structure acts as a safe shelter for small crustaceans and worms living in the dense darkness. It has the ability to concentrate extremely high levels of heavy metals inside its body, a unique biological adaptation in the abyss. As a silent architect of the deep, this being proves that biological greatness does not depend on the complexity of organs. In the depths, where sunlight never reaches, the deep-sea dragonfish reigns as an invisible hunter amidst eternal darkness. It lives at a depth of more than 1,000 meters below the sea surface, where huge pressure and cold are always present. Its elongated and dark body is only about 30 centimeters long, but equipped with needle-sharp teeth. Hanging below its jaw is a long appendage called a barbel, ending in an organ capable of producing its own light. That light acts as a perfect decoy, attracting small fish and curious crustaceans into the absolute darkness. But its real advantage lies in a capability that no other predator in the abyss possesses in the same way. Some species can emit red light, a light that most creatures living at this depth cannot see. Thanks to that secret light, it can observe and stalk its prey almost without being detected, like a silent sniper. When the prey gets close enough, its jaw snaps open at an amazing speed to grab the prey, with no escape. In a world without sunlight, the deep-sea dragonfish proves that darkness can also become a hunting weapon. At the volcanic scars on the Pacific sea floor, where the Earth spews out water at a temperature of 350 degrees Celsius, giant tube worms reside. Scientifically known as Riftia pachyptila, this organism challenges all known laws of traditional animal biology. Their white chitinous tube structures can reach an amazing length of 2 meters 40 centimeters. This being is a living paradox, as it completely lacks a mouth, stomach, and intestines to process food. At its upper end, it displays a vibrant red plume, rich in hemoglobin to absorb gases from the surrounding water. Its survival depends on an internal organ called a trophosome, home to billions of chemosynthetic bacteria. These microorganisms perform the miracle of converting toxic hydrogen sulfide into nutritional energy for the worm. This worm can withstand a pressure of 25 million newtons per square meter, a force that could crush any human structure. Its growth rate is the fastest among marine invertebrates, increasing in size by several centimeters each month. By retracting its red plume into the tube, the worm protects itself instantly from predators or sudden changes in the water. As a primary producer of the abyss, this animal maintains entire ecosystems in places where sunlight is completely non-existent. When a whale dies in the surface layer of the ocean, its body begins a journey lasting several days to sink into the deep abyss. It can weigh up to 40,000 kilograms, a mass of nutrients that rarely reaches the seafloor all at once. While sinking, the whale carcass passes through water layers that are increasingly cold and dark, moving away from sunlight. This constant rain of organic particles is called marine snow, a silent flow that feeds the entire deep water layer. When the body finally touches the bottom of the ocean trench at a depth of more than 1,000 meters, a second life begins. The first to arrive are mobile scavengers, attracted by the scent spreading slowly in the cold water. Sleeper sharks and hagfish approach first, tearing apart the soft meat in just a few months. Then come crabs and amphipods, small crustaceans that clean every corner of the exposed skeleton. This first stage can consume up to 90% of soft tissue in less than 2 years. When the meat disappears, the skeleton is exposed and a new community begins to colonize the remaining structure. Zombie worms of the genus Osedax bore deep into the bones to suck out the fat hidden inside. These worms have no mouth or stomach. They depend on symbiotic bacteria to digest fat for them. At the final stage, chemosynthetic bacteria transform the sulfur released from the bones into chemical energy. This energy source feeds snails, clams, and many other species that only exist around a decomposing skeleton. A single whale skeleton can maintain this ecosystem for more than 50 years, becoming an oasis of life in the darkness of the abyss. At the extreme boundaries of hydrothermal vents in the Pacific, yeti crabs live, scientifically known as Kiwa hirsuta. This crustacean is distinguished by its claws covered in dense white bristles that look like a silk coat in the abyssal darkness. These bristles are not merely decoration, but a biological farm designed to cultivate massive colonies of filamentous bacteria. The crab waves its claws in mineral-rich currents to feed its guests, and then harvests them as a source of sustenance. It lives in an extremely narrow thermal band, where the freezing water of the ocean clashes with heat exceeding 300 degrees Celsius. Lacking functional eyes, it depends entirely on chemical sensors to navigate in this toxic and high-pressure ecosystem. The Yeti crab is a testament to evolutionary intelligence, transforming its own body into a life-producing system. Descending to the abyssal plains at depths reaching 7,000 meters lives Grimperteuthis, commonly known as the Dumbo octopus. This cephalopod is the deepest living inhabitant of its class, gliding through the water with two fins reminiscent of the large ears of an elephant. Its body is extremely soft and gelatinous, an essential biological adaptation to withstand the massive pressure that would crush any rigid structure. Unlike its relatives in shallow waters, it has no ink sac, because in absolute darkness, camouflage by ink smoke is unnecessary. The Dumbo octopus is a master of biological economy, moving with a calculated slowness to preserve every available calorie of energy. It eats snails and small crustaceans that it catches by using its webbed tentacles to wrap around them before swallowing them completely whole. This fragile being proves that elegance and life can flourish even at the most hostile and dark boundaries of the biosphere. In the most vibrant coral gardens of the Indo-Pacific, a small inhabitant shines with orange and white colors. The clownfish, belonging to the subfamily Amphiprioninae, is the undisputed ambassador of tropical coral reefs in warm waters. Its iconic appearance has turned it into a global legend, recalling the famous story of a young hero named Nemo. This small animal proves that in nature, size does not define strength or the success of survival. Its life is intimately linked with sea anemones, predatory organisms with tentacles filled with deadly poison. While other fish would die upon contact with these toxic darts, the clownfish swims among them completely unharmed. The secret to its invulnerability lies in a special mucus layer coating its body, which is only about 10 centimeters long. This chemical protection prevents the anemone's stinging cells from firing by making it recognize the clownfish as part of itself. This symbiotic relationship is a sacred pact, where both organisms receive vital benefits for their daily existence. The clownfish defends its host from butterflyfish, and in return receives an impenetrable refuge from predators. In this small ecosystem, the clownfish also acts as a cleaner, removing parasites and food remains from the tentacles. Their social structure is fascinating and strict, always led by a dominant alpha female who is usually the largest in size. If the female dies, the largest male in the group undergoes an amazing biological change and transforms into a female. This sequential hermaphroditism ensures that hierarchy and reproduction continue without interruption in the complex coral reef. During the breeding season, the male meticulously cleans a rock surface near the protective base of the anemone. The female lays hundreds of eggs that the male will protect with a ferocity that defies his small and friendly appearance. The young hatch after a week and begin their own arduous journey to find an anemone where they will establish their permanent home. The clownfish can withstand temperatures of 26 degrees Celsius in shallow waters, where sunlight nourishes coral life. Despite its fame, this fish faces serious threats such as ocean warming and overfishing for trade. Coral bleaching destroys anemones, leaving these brave inhabitants without their natural and vital protective shield. The clownfish is a symbol of the fragility and beauty of the oceans, reminding us of the importance of preserving every coral reef. Protecting their world is ensuring that the symphony of color and life continues to flourish beneath the waves of our planet Earth. On the vast plains of the seafloor, where silence is absolute, a tireless worker resides: the sea cucumber. This echinodome, scientifically known as Holothuroidea, is a fundamental pillar maintaining cleanliness in the deep regions of the ocean. With a long and leathery body, it moves with a calculated slowness over the sediment layer at minimum speed. Its mouth is surrounded by branched tentacles, used to suck up the organic rich mud from the ocean floor. It acts as a perfect biological vacuum cleaner, swallowing large amounts of sand to filter out vital nutrients. After processing food, it expels clean sediment, oxygenating the substrate and allowing microscopic life to flourish again. Some deep-sea species can reach a length of up to 2 meters, though most measure between 10 and 30 centimeters. Its body structure is fascinating, as it possesses the unique ability to breathe through structures called respiratory trees, located in its cloaca. Before a predator's attack, it deploys an extreme defense by ejecting sticky threads called Cuvierian tubules to immobilize the enemy. If the threat persists, the sea cucumber will use evisceration, expelling its own internal organs to distract the attacker while it escapes. This amazing regenerative capacity allows it to rebuild its digestive system and other lost tissues in just a few weeks of rest. As an ecosystem engineer, the sea cucumber is indispensable for preventing waste accumulation and maintaining the chemical health of the abyss. In the perpetual twilight of the mesopelagic zone, a wonder of optical engineering emerges: the barreleye fish. Scientifically known as Macropinna microstoma, this being possesses a unique head in the shape of a transparent dome filled with liquid. Its real eyes are not the 2 dark spots in front, but 2 green tubular structures hidden beneath its protective shield. Normally, these visual organs point upward to detect the silhouettes of small fish passing under the faint residual light. The most amazing feature of its anatomy is the ability to rotate its eyes forward when it locates a food source. This fish lives at depths between 600 meters and 800 meters, where pressure is 80 times greater than at the surface. Its transparent dome not only protects its eyes, but also provides a strategic advantage by having no blind spots in its upper visual field. The barrelé fish is a testament to how life can redesign perception to conquer the limits of the impossible beneath the ocean. On the upper slope of the ocean trench, where darkness is absolute, a dancer of light appears, the bioluminescent jellyfish. This creature turns the abyss into a neon stage, activating bursts of light that run through every section of its transparent body. Scientifically known as Atolla weevillei, it possesses the ability to generate visual energy through internal chemical reactions. It does not use brute force to survive, but a symphony of light flashes that defies the monotony of the ocean void. Its photophores emit a blue light visible from several meters away, acting as a hypnotic lure for plankton species. When it feels threatened, it activates a sequence of rotating lights known as a burglar alarm to attract larger predators. This biological distraction tactic reveals the attacker's position, allowing the jellyfish to escape into the shadows. In this high-pressure environment, each pulse of light is an encoded message serving for communication between members of its species. At a depth of 4,000 meters under the sea, light becomes the most valuable exchange currency for survival and reproductive success. Its gelatinous body contains 95% water, a fragile structure but perfectly adapted to the weight of the abyss. This is a visual battle of wits, where silence and flashes of light replace fangs and speed of traditional hunters. The bioluminescent jellyfish is the lighthouse of the underworld, a masterpiece of evolution illuminating the coldest boundaries of the planet. In the darkest regions of the bathypelagic, where pressure reaches 1,000 kilograms per square centimeter, the female anglerfish lurks. Scientifically known as Melanocetus johnsoni, this creature is the embodiment of biological terror in the absolute void of the ocean. Its deadliest feature is a dorsal filament transformed into a fishing rod ending in a bulb filled with bioluminescent bacteria. This blue light acts as a hypnotic beacon, attracting curious prey directly into the attack zone of its jaws. It possesses an immense mouth, equipped with long teeth curved inward, designed to prevent any victim from escaping once caught. Its stomach is extremely elastic, allowing it to swallow prey twice its own size to survive through months of scarcity. The fate of the male is radically different. He is 10 times smaller and lacks the ability to hunt alone. When he finds a female, the male bites her belly and releases enzymes that fuse his skin and blood vessels with hers permanently. Through this parasitic fusion, the male becomes a biological appendage receiving nutrients in exchange for fulfilling only the reproductive function. Anglerfish prove that at the boundaries of the Earth, life has perfected the most extreme methods to ensure the continuation of the species. On the slopes of underwater mountain ranges where currents carry frozen sediment, deep-sea anemones live. This organism, scientifically known as Actiniaria, is a fleshy flower perpetually anchored to volcanic rocks. It lives at depths exceeding 5,000 meters, withstanding a steady temperature of 2 degrees Celsius under the weight of the abyss. Unlike active hunters, the anemone is a prisoner of the terrain that has perfected the art of extreme patience. It spreads its translucent tentacles like an invisible net, waiting for the current to deliver a victim to its domain. Each filament is armed with thousands of conidocytes, specialized cells that fire toxic darts at the slightest physical contact. In this resource-scarce environment, its metabolism is extremely slow, allowing it to survive for weeks without eating. The pressure its soft structure must bear is equivalent to 500 kilograms on every square centimeter of its body. When a small crustacean hits the trap, the anemone wraps around it with a subtle but lethal contraction force. Food is slowly transported toward the oral disc, where a chemical digestion process begins that can last for days. Some species at these depths are biologically immortal, constantly renewing cells to live for centuries in the dark. It lacks eyes and a brain, but its chemical receptors detect the scent of organic matter from several meters away. It acts as a vital regulator, removing excess suspended particles and maintaining the purity of abyssal currents. To defend itself against predators like starfish, it releases chemical toxins that burn the tissues of any attacker. The deep-sea anemone is a monument to endurance, an eternal flower blooming in the coldest desert on the planet. On the abyssal plains where temperatures hover around 2 degrees Celsius, the deep-sea octopus emerges like a silent ghost. Scientifically known as Granelodone boreopacifica, this cephalopod is a master of patience and energy conservation. It moves just a few centimeters from the seafloor, using its webbed fins to float with minimum metabolic expenditure. Every movement is calculated precisely because in the abyss, every calorie is a treasure ensuring daily survival. Its eyes are adapted to detect the silhouettes of small crustaceans and polychaete worms hidden under the muddy sediment. Upon locating prey, it extends its sensitive tentacles, which act as chemical radars to confirm the presence of nutrients. The search for food is constant, but the octopus must reserve strength for the most important mission of its life: reproduction. In this high-pressure environment, the female carefully selects a crack in volcanic rocks to deposit her eggs. During this period, the mother does not eat, dedicating every gram of her energy to protecting and oxygenating her future offspring. Its gelatinous body withstands a pressure of 60 million newtons, a biological feat allowing life to exist at the Earth's boundaries. This octopus is the guardian of the abyssal calm, a testament to resilience, ensuring the continuation of life in eternal darkness. On the vast tropical and subtropical seas, an ancestral silhouette appears that has navigated the oceans for millennia, the green sea turtle. Scientifically known as Colonia midas, this creature is a living symbol of persistence and elegance beneath the planet's waves. It possesses a heart-shaped hydrodynamic shell that allows it to glide with minimum resistance through ocean currents. An average adult can reach a length of 1 meter 50 centimeters and weigh up to 190 kilograms of pure biological vigor. Its name does not come from the color of its outer shell, but from the greenish fat accumulated due to its strictly herbivorous diet. It lives mainly in the shallow waters of continental shelves, where sunlight nourishes vast meadows of life. As a tireless ocean gardener, the green sea turtle feeds on seagrass and algae, maintaining the health of the seafloor. By constantly pruning these meadows, it promotes the growth of young shoots and increases the productivity of the coastal ecosystem. Its role is fundamental in controlling plant biomass, preventing excess algae from suffocating nearby coral reefs. This species possesses amazing navigation capabilities, using the Earth's magnetic fields to orient itself in the vast blue. It makes epic migrations of up to 2,600 kilometers between its feeding areas and the beaches where it began its own life. It is a powerful swimmer that can reach speeds of 35 kilometers per hour when it detects the presence of a predator. Its lungs allow it to hold its breath for several hours while resting submerged under coral ledges. At reproductive maturity, the turtle returns with pinpoint precision to the same beach where it was born to lay its eggs. During the night, the female laboriously crawls onto the sand to dig a nest and deposit nearly 100 spherical eggs. The heat of the sand, which usually hovers around 29 degrees Celsius, will determine the sex of the offspring in a fascinating biological process. After 2 months, the small turtles emerge and undertake a frantic race toward the sea, escaping birds and crabs. It is estimated that only 1 in 1,000 offspring will reach adulthood, facing the constant dangers of the open ocean. Currently, the green sea turtle faces critical threats, such as plastic pollution and the loss of its nesting beaches. As a keystone species, its survival is a vital indicator of the health of our oceans and the stability of marine life. Protecting the green sea turtle is safeguarding ancient marine paths and ensuring that biodiversity continues to flourish beneath the sun. Descending beyond the boundary of light, the submersible passes through the zone where the Mariana snailfish reigns in silence. The snailfish Pseudoliparis swire lives at depths of 8,000 meters, withstanding pressures that would deform any normal bone structure. However, upon crossing the 8,200-meter threshold, the biodiversity of vertebrates begins to fade drastically. Science explains that fish survival is limited by a biochemical constraint related to the compound trimethylamine N-oxide. This molecule protects cellular proteins from massive pressure, but there is a physical limit to the concentration a body can house. If a fish were to descend deeper, its cells would become hyperosmotic, causing an irreversible biological collapse due to excessive water entry. Current observations suggest that the absolute limit for the existence of any fish species is around 8,400 meters. Beyond this depth milestone, the ocean becomes a forbidden territory for hearts that beat with gills and scales. In this fishless void, giant amphipods take control, patrolling the bottom with an endurance that defies the laws of pressure. Alongside them, colonies of microorganisms and bacteria continue their metabolic work at 11,000 meters at the bottom of the trench. The pressure at this final point is equivalent to 1,100 kilograms per square centimeter, a force that only the simplest life can endure. This is the triumph of the small and simple over the complex, where pure cellular engineering defeats advanced anatomy. Through the quartz windows of the submersible, the landscape becomes a vast expanse of mud and rocks where time seems to have stopped. This depth limit marks the boundary between the vertebrate world and the absolute realm of invertebrates and microbes. The Mariana Trench remains as the last bastion of Earth's mysteries, an abyss holding the secrets of the most extreme life. At the deepest point of the Mariana Trench, at 11,000 meters below sea level, the world of the invisible is hidden. The Challenger Deep is an environment of extreme pressure, where life challenges the limits of the imaginable in every millimeter of mud. Inside this abyssal sediment resides the silent engine of the ocean trench, piezophilic or barophilic bacteria. These microorganisms are capable of thriving under a pressure of 110 million newtons per square meter, a force that would disintegrate any other cell. Their cell membranes are composed of unsaturated fatty acids that maintain the necessary fluidity in a constant cold of 1 degree Celsius. They act as biological processes that decompose marine snow, organic debris, and carcasses falling slowly from the surface. By digesting this material, they release essential nitrogen, phosphorus, and carbon that nourish the strangest and most resilient beings in the abyss. In the complete absence of sunlight, these bacteria have abandoned photosynthesis to master organic decomposition and chemosynthesis. They are the metabolic heart of the planet, transforming waste into new life with a chemical efficiency that has no comparison. Every milliliter of mud contains millions of these cells working in a symphony of atomic transformation under the weight of the ocean. Without their discreet and ceaseless work, the global ocean's nutrient cycle would stop, causing a planetary-scale biological collapse. They are the architects of the mud, the sovereigns of the microscopic that reign in the most hostile and dark place on Earth. Even under the weight of an 11-kilometer water column, these bacteria maintain the chemical and biological stability of the seafloor. They represent the final frontier of life, where pure chemistry replaces sunlight in the eternal dance of existence. Preserving the abyss is honoring these invisible giants that ensure the balance of the biosphere from absolute darkness. At the edge of absolute darkness, the lights of the submersible pierce a void that has not seen light in millions of years. Every square meter of this abyssal mud is a virgin territory where biology has not yet been written by human hands. Although the Challenger Deep is the most famous point, the Mariana Trench extends for more than 2,500 kilometers in length. Much of this inverted mountain range remains submerged in mystery, far from the lenses of our most advanced cameras. Suddenly, a fleeting flash of light cuts across the light beam before vanishing into the eternal shadows of the seafloor. It could be a new species of amphipod, or perhaps an organism whose existence challenges our current understanding of life. It is estimated that thousands of unknown species live just beyond the reach of our artificial lighting in the trench. In this laboratory of the abyss, evolution has had eons to create life forms that exist nowhere else. The pressure of 110 million newtons has shaped invisible anatomies that nourish themselves from the pure chemistry of the Earth. Each successful exploration barely scratches the surface of an ecosystem covering a massive area of the ocean floor. The challenge of researching these areas is comparable to exploring deep space due to the cold and dark conditions. These nameless creatures are the true owners of the final frontier, thriving in a place where humanity is only an intruder. The Challenger Deep continues to hold its deepest secrets, reminding us that our planet still has infinite mysteries to be revealed. Our mission is to protect this dark sanctuary, ensuring that life continues to flourish in the sacred shadows of the Mariana Trench. Subscribe to the channel as well as share this video to carry this message of respect far. Every gesture helps protect nature's wonderful creation. Even in the most remote reaches of the Challenger Deep, the shadow of human activity has begun to devour the purity of the ocean. Persistent organic pollutants have leaked through ocean currents, depositing alarmingly in the abyssal mud. The funnel-shaped topography of the Mariana Trench acts as a geological trap, capturing toxic substances that have no escape. Small crustaceans, such as Hirundellea gigas, show concentrations of polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, that are terrifying for modern science. Surprisingly, the toxicity in these amphipods is 50 times higher than that of organisms inhabiting the most industrial coasts. Microplastics, particles smaller than 5 millimeters, have permeated the deep water column, infiltrating the tissues of the most resilient beings. In explorations at 11,000 meters, strange objects have been found, such as plastic bags, metal cans, and synthetic food packaging. The presence of radioactive isotopes, remnants of past nuclear tests, has been detected in the muscle mass of abyssal fauna. These harmful elements are absorbed into the food chain, integrating into the biology of one of the coldest ecosystems on Earth. The chemical bioaccumulation process transforms each organism into a warehouse of industrial waste under a pressure of 110 million newtons. By eating sediment, deep-sea creatures unintentionally process microfibers that block their vital and reproductive systems. Depth no longer represents an impregnable fortress, but a silent archive that records every ecological disaster committed on the surface. Human impact on this key domain poses a serious risk to the chemical balance of the entire global ocean and its biodiversity. protecting the Mariana Trench from toxic invasion is an ethical imperative to ensure the survival of life in its purest form. The fate of the abyss is linked to ours, reminding us that no place on planet Earth escapes our responsibility. Before humans understood the infinite force of the ocean, before science revealed the hidden wars beneath its waters, there already existed a world where giants decided power with every movement. In the wild ocean, between deep currents, immense shadows, and invisible territories, massive creatures face off, hunt, and dominate the sea with brutal force. Welcome to Wild Ocean, the Battle of the Sea Giants. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give us more motivation to keep creating quality content. Don't forget to comment below on what you thought of the video and tell us where you are watching from, so we can chat together. Let's begin. In the vast waters of the ocean, where marine giants travel thousands of kilometers every year, the orca reigns as one of the most powerful predators on the planet. Its scientific name is Orcinus orca, the largest member of the dolphin family and an extraordinarily intelligent hunter. Adult males can exceed 8 meters in length and reach weights close to 6,000 kilograms. Its distinctive black and white coloration makes it one of the most recognizable creatures in all the oceans. However, its true advantage lies not only in size, but in an intelligence capable of developing complex hunting strategies. Orcas live in highly organized family groups where cooperation is essential for survival and capturing difficult prey. Each group passes down knowledge from generation to generation, creating hunting techniques adapted to different regions of the ocean. Thanks to this ability, they can capture fish, seals, sea lions, and even large cetaceans under certain circumstances. In some regions, orcas have also developed specialized techniques to face large sharks. A pod of orcas detects the presence of a great white shark patrolling near a coastal area rich in food. The group members coordinate their movements, observe the shark's position, and gradually close the distance around it. When the right moment arrives, the orcas execute a coordinated attack that leverages their size, experience, and teamwork. The hunt ends thanks to a carefully executed strategy, proving why intelligence can be as important as strength. These capabilities have made the orca one of the few marine animals capable of exerting pressure on large sharks. In addition to being an exceptional hunter, it plays a fundamental role in regulating the populations of numerous marine species. Its presence influences the behavior of seals, fish, sharks, and other predators that share the same oceanic ecosystem. As an apex predator, it helps maintain the ecological balance of some of the most complex food chains on the planet. In the open ocean, the orca does not dominate solely by its strength. It dominates because it combines intelligence, cooperation, and experience like no other marine hunter. In cold waters where currents pull life from the depths, the great white shark patrols like a powerful shadow beneath the surface. Its scientific name is Carcharodon carcharias, one of the most iconic and feared marine predators on the planet. An adult specimen can exceed 6 meters in length and weigh more than 2,000 kilograms. Its hydrodynamic body allows it to accelerate from the depths with explosive power over short distances. The grey upper part and white underside create perfect camouflage between the darkness of the bottom and the light from the surface. Near seal colonies, the white shark becomes an invisible presence observing from below. The shark detects a seal separated from the group and slowly ascends from the deep shadows. It closes the distance without breaking the surface, following the silhouette of the prey against the light of the water. When the exact moment arrives, it launches upward with brutal speed and strikes from below with the full weight of its body. The hunt ends in seconds, because the vertical attack of the great white shark leaves very little time to escape. Its triangular, serrated teeth are designed to grip large prey in rough waters. As an apex predator, it keeps seals, sea lions, and other animals of the cold coasts under pressure. Its presence forces prey to swim with constant vigilance, especially when away from the safety of the group. Although other giants roam the ocean, few hunters combine surprise, power, and precision like the great white shark. In the cold waters of the planet, this shark does not only pursue food, it sustains the invisible balance of an entire coastal world. When the massive heart of the blue whale stops beating, the final and most generous journey of the ocean's sovereign toward eternity begins. The body slowly descends through thousands of meters of absolute darkness, leaving the world of light forever. Upon touching the seafloor in the abyss, the carcass becomes an oasis of life in the middle of the deepest liquid desert. Scavengers like deep-sea sharks and hagfish arrive first, consuming hundreds of kilograms of soft tissue each day. Only 3 seconds of detection are necessary for the scent of abundance to attract thousands of inhabitants from the shadows. Following the large hunters, Osedax worms arrive, drilling into the skeleton to extract the lipids and nutrients hidden within the bone. Bacteria decompose the remaining scraps, creating a chemical ecosystem that feeds species that will never see the sunlight. This banquet of death can last for more than 50 years, providing energy to a world where food is almost non-existent. The sacrifice of the colossus allows biodiversity to flourish, dug on the abyssal plains, transforming the end of one life into the beginning of thousands. The whale fall teaches us that in the eternal cycle of the sea, the death of a giant is the seed of an entire universe. In the deep ocean, where light disappears and pressure increases, the sperm whale descends like a giant, prepared to face the darkness. Its scientific name is Physeter macrocephalus, the largest toothed predator existing on the planet. An adult male can exceed 16 meters in length and weigh more than 40,000 kilograms. Its enormous head contains the spermaceti organ, a key structure for producing powerful sounds and orienting itself in the depths. Through intense clicks, it can explore a world without light and locate prey hidden hundreds or even thousands of meters below the surface. Its most legendary prey is the giant squid, a creature with long arms that inhabits the dark zones of the ocean. On many adult sperm whales, circular scars on the skin reveal intense encounters with squids armed with powerful suckers. When it detects signals of a squid in the dark, the sperm whale begins a long and controlled descent into the abyss. It moves guided by its clicks, silently adjusting its direction as the water pressure increases with every meter. Approaching the prey, it accelerates in the deep darkness and uses its toothed jaws to capture the squid before it can disappear. The hunt ends far from the surface, in a world where only orientation, endurance, and strength allow for survival. After long immersions, it slowly returns to the surface to breathe and recover energy before another descent. Its vertical journeys transport nutrients between the depths and the surface, connecting layers of the ocean that seem like separate worlds. In the abyss, the sperm whale does not only seek food, it challenges a frontier where few predators can follow. Every scar on its body is a memory written by pressure, darkness, and silent battles against the giants of the deep sea. In the vastness of the deep blue, where sunbeams are lost in the abyss and silence is the only law, dwells a living monument to the greatness of nature. The blue whale is not just an animal. It is the most colossal being to ever navigate the oceans or walk the face of the earth. With a length reaching 30 meters, its presence turns any other creature into a tiny shadow before its majestic passage. Its massive weight of up to 190,000 kilograms defies the imagination, a mountain of muscle and energy that flows with the elegance of a cloud. It possesses a heart the size of a small car, pumping thousands of liters of blood through arteries so wide a child could swim through them. Its tongue, a prodigious muscle, weighs as much as an adult elephant, proving that in this giant everything is measured on a scale of wonder. Despite its titanic size, this sovereign of the ocean depends on the smallest creatures to keep its engine of life running. It feeds almost exclusively on krill, tiny crustaceans that live in dense clouds beneath the sea surface. To sustain its immense body, it must consume up to 4,000 kilograms of food every day during the feeding season. It uses the technique of lunge feeding, opening its massive jaws to swallow an amount of water equivalent to its own weight. In a single mouthful, it can filter up to 90,000 liters of water through its baleen plates, catching millions of krill in a perfect trap. The ocean is its boundless home, as it performs epic migrations of more than 10,000 kilometers from the poles to tropical waters. It travels along marine highways seeking nutrient-rich, frigid waters and returning to the tropics to give birth in protected warmth. Its communication is a low-frequency song, a deep lament that travels through the vastness of the water across entire ocean basins. These powerful sounds can be heard by other whales more than 1,600 kilometers away, maintaining the bond in the solitude of the blue. Despite its power, the blue whale is a peaceful navigator that must avoid the silent threats of fishing nets and ship collisions. Climate change also alters marine currents, threatening the abundance of the krill on which its existence depends. The existence of this giant teaches us that even the largest is vulnerable to the delicate balance of the planet. In the eternal dance of the currents, the blue whale is the heart that pumps the wild spirit of the indomitable seas. To see its back break the surface is to witness a force that has survived geological eras, a ghost of the past in the present. It is the architect of oceanic peace, a titan of muscle and wisdom that reminds us of our small scale in the cosmos of water. as long as the song of the blue whale resonates in the abyss, the ocean will preserve its soul and its most sacred mystery. In the balance of the blue world, she is the uncrowned queen, the giant who teaches us the true meaning of the word life. Beneath the vastness of the Pacific Ocean, where cold currents meet the abyss, a shadow of immense fins breaks the surface. The humpback whale is not just an inhabitant of the sea, it is an artist of movement and sound in the deep blue. With a weight of 30,000 kilograms and a length of 15 meters, this giant is a marvel of strength and underwater agility. Its pectoral fins, the longest of all cetaceans, reach 5 meters and function as powerful wings in the water. In the depths, the male emits a complex and melancholy song, a sequence of sounds that can last more than 20 minutes. These melodies travel for kilometers through the water, transmitting messages that humans are only beginning to understand. The humpback whale is a tireless traveler, performing epic migrations of more than 8,000 kilometers each year. They move from polar waters rich in food to the warm tropics to give birth and protect their young. In the cold northern waters, they deploy one of nature's most amazing hunting tactics, the bubble net. A pod of whales works in perfect synchrony, diving beneath a school of small fish. They exhale air in a controlled manner while swimming in tight circles, creating a curtain of bubbles that traps the prey. The fish, disoriented by the wall of air, bunch up in the center of the spiral, unaware that the end is near. Suddenly, the silence of the ocean is torn as the whales emerge with their jaws open toward the sky. In just 3 seconds, tons of water and food are filtered through their baleen in a feast of life. Perfect coordination ensures that every member of the group gets the energy needed for the long journey back. The humpback whale teaches us that intelligence and cooperation are the pillars of survival in the immense blue. Despite their greatness, they face dangers like underwater noise from ships that interrupts their sacred songs. Ocean warming alters the availability of krill, threatening the balance of these ancient navigators. Every breach over the waves is a testimony to the indomitable strength of a spirit that belongs to the freedom of the sea. As long as the humpback's song resonates in the abyss, the ocean will keep its oldest voice and its deepest mystery. In the abyssal depths where sunlight is a myth and pressure crushes any hope, dwells the darkest enigma of the ocean. The giant squid is not a sailor's legend, but a real predator with eyes the size of plates designed to see in total blackness. With a length of 13 meters and tentacles armed with serrated suckers, this ghost of the depths is the terror of the abyss. It lives in a world of eternal silence at 1,000 meters deep, where its only worthy rival is the hungry sperm whale descending from the surface. Suddenly, its tentacles lash out like deadly whips, catching its prey in barely 3 seconds of an invisible and violent struggle. Victory in the abyss is silent and fast, leaving only the trace of a shadow that fades under the weight of the water pressure. The giant squid reminds us that the Earth's greatest secrets still breathe and hunt under the mantle of eternal night. In the crystal-clear waters of tropical seas, where sunlight dances over the reef and warm currents flow without rest, a mountain of mottled skin emerges. The whale shark is not a hunter with sharp fangs, but the largest fish that exists, a giant whose presence commands absolute respect in the blue. With a length that usually reaches 12 meters, its body is a colossal structure that glides with a calm that belies its immense power. This titan can weigh up to 20,000 kilograms, a mass of muscle and cartilage that navigates the world's oceanic highways. Its skin, a bluish-grey color, is adorned with a unique pattern of white spots reminiscent of a starry night at the bottom of the sea. Unlike its predatory relatives, this giant has chosen the path of peace, becoming the largest filter feeder in the oceans. Its mouth, which can measure up to 1.5 meters wide, contains no teeth for tearing, but a sophisticated system to capture microscopic life. It navigates slowly at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour, filtering thousands of liters of water to obtain its daily sustenance of plankton and krill. In a world where most sharks are synonymous with terror, the whale shark represents the harmony and balance of the marine ecosystem. Suddenly, the giant locates a dense cloud of fish eggs and opens its massive jaws to suck in the banquet with constant force. Water is expelled through its gills while nutrients are trapped in its filter pads in a display of pure efficiency. Just 3 seconds of suction are enough to process an amount of food that will keep its vital engine running in the vastness of the water. Despite its size, it is vulnerable to plastic pollution and maritime traffic that threatens its slow and steady migration. The whale shark teaches us that true greatness does not need violence, but the persistence to thrive in the infinite blue. It is the ambassador of oceanic peace, an eternal traveler that unites continents with every movement of its powerful tail. Under the silvery light that filters into the open ocean, where warm water currents meet the void, floats a silhouette that defies all conventional anatomy. The sunfish is not just a marine curiosity, it is the heaviest bony fish in the world, a disc-shaped giant that looks like a moon fallen from the sky. Weighing up to 2,300 kilograms and standing 4 meters tall from fin to fin, this colossus navigates with an almost hypnotic parsimony. It is often seen floating on its side on the surface, taking a vital sunbath to regulate its temperature after its trips to the abyss. This thermal ritual allows it to recharge energy before descending to depths of more than 600 meters, where the water is frigid and dark. In the depths, it becomes a silent hunter of jellyfish, consuming massive amounts of these gelatinous beings to sustain its enormous body. Its thick and rough skin is an ecosystem in itself, harboring parasites that attract birds and cleaner fish when the giant emerges to the surface. Despite its clumsy appearance, it can accelerate forcefully to escape predators like orcas or great white sharks that patrol the blue. Suddenly, detecting a threat, the sunfish flaps its pectoral fins with an impulse of hundreds of newtons to submerge quickly. In just 3 seconds, the silver disc disappears from view, fleeing toward the protection of the deep waters where few can follow. The sunfish teaches us that survival in the ocean does not always require speed or aggression, but a unique adaptation to thermal extremes. It is the wandering navigator of the seas, a mystical presence that unites the sun of the surface with the eternal night of the marine abyss. In open waters where the sun pierces the blue like spears of light, an immense and elegant shadow glides over the reef. The giant manta ray is not a common fish. It is the personification of aerodynamic grace in the heart of the ocean. With a wingspan that can reach 7 meters, its pectoral fins function as majestic wings that propel it through the water. Despite weighing up to 1,600 kilograms, it moves with a lightness that defies its imposing physical volume. It possesses the largest brain of all fish, a complex intelligence that allows it to recognize individuals and solve spatial problems. Its life is a constant migration along marine highways, seeking plankton-rich zones and sacred cleaning stations. In the coral reefs, mantas gather in a fascinating ritual, patiently waiting their turn before the cleaner fish. These small fish remove parasites and dead skin, maintaining the giant's health in a pact of perfect symbiosis. Communication between them is subtle, using rhythmic movements and acrobatic leaps out of the water to transmit signals to the group. Suddenly, a group of mantas locates a massive concentration of food and begins a coordinated circular dance. They open their cavernous mouths and use their cephalic lobes to guide nutrient-rich water into their interiors. Just 3 seconds of continuous filtration allow the manta to process thousands of liters of water loaded with microscopic life. The dance ends when the school of plankton disperses, leaving the mantas satiated and ready to continue their infinite journey. despite their greatness, they face the threat of accidental fishing and the degradation of the reefs that are their temples of health. The manta ray teaches us that intelligence and harmony can coexist in a body designed for absolute freedom. In the white crystal deserts of the Arctic, where the frigid air freezes the breath and ice blocks creak under the pressure of the sea, a colossus of the abyss emerges. The walrus is not just an inhabitant of the north, it is a tank of meat and tusks that defines endurance at the end of the world. With a massive weight that can reach 1,500 kilograms, its body is wrapped in a layer of fat 10 centimeters thick that acts as a thermal shield. Its rough and scarred skin is a map of battles and decades of surviving in waters that are usually at 0 degrees Celsius. Its most legendary feature is its long ivory tusks, power tools that can measure up to 1 meter in length and grow throughout its life. It uses these natural spears to anchor itself on slippery ice, haul itself out of the water, and defend its honor against other dominant males. In the dark depths, the walrus becomes a treasure seeker, descending to the seafloor to collect thousands of clams and mollusks. Its vibrissae, or highly sensitive whiskers, detect the slightest movement of prey hidden in the mud 80 meters below the surface. Space on ice floes is a scarce luxury, and tension explodes when a young intruder tries to claim a spot on an already saturated platform. The alpha male stands up with an ancient fury, launching a guttural roar that resonates like thunder over the frozen ocean. In barely 3 seconds, the tusks clash with a dull impact that makes the ice vibrate, forcing the rival to retreat into the cold water. Victory ensures the group's warmth and the right to rest under the pale northern sun, while they recover strength for the next dive. However, accelerated melting threatens their natural refuges, forcing these living fortresses to make exhausting efforts to find firm ground. The walrus teaches us that true strength resides in resilience and in the ability to stand firm when the world itself vanishes beneath your feet. On the wild coasts where the South Atlantic strikes the sand with fury, the air fills with the smell of salt and the tension of an imminent war. The elephant seal is a colossus of nature, a giant that can weigh up to 4,000 kilograms and measure 6 meters in length. Its life on the shore is not one of rest, but of constant vigilance to protect its harem of females against any intruder. A young challenger emerges from the water, launching a thunderous roar through his swollen proboscis to claim the throne. The alpha male responds by raising his massive body, becoming a wall of flesh and scars ready for combat. The two titans clash their chests with an impact that makes the earth vibrate, using their weight to crush the rival's will. They launch brutal bites at the neck, where the thick skin acts as a shield against the fangs seeking blood. In just 3 seconds of pure violence, the challenger is struck down, feeling the devastating force of the sovereign of the beach. Victory leaves deep wounds and extreme exhaustion, but the right to offspring has been defended once more. The elephant seal teaches us that in the theatre of survival, the crown only belongs to whoever is willing to bleed for their legacy. On the invisible highways of the open ocean, where currents are fast and the horizon is infinite, sails a silver and blue projectile. The bluefin tuna is not just a fish. It is a masterpiece of hydrodynamics capable of reaching 70 kilometers per hour in seconds. Weighing 600 kilograms, this warm-blooded colossus keeps its muscles in constant motion to cross entire oceans without rest. However, its speed does not make it invulnerable. It is the most coveted trophy for supreme predators like the mako shark and the orca. Suddenly, the water churns as an orca cuts its path, forcing the tuna into a desperate race for pure survival. In just 3 seconds, the tuna uses its explosive power to disappear into the deep blue, leaving behind only the wake of its energy. The bluefin tuna teaches us that in the vastness of the sea, life is a current that never stops, and speed is the only shield against destiny. In the open waters of the ocean, far from reefs and coasts, the swordfish travels immense distances as one of the fastest hunters in the sea. Its scientific name is Cepheus gladius, a species recognized for the long rostrum that has given it fame in all the oceans of the planet. Some specimens can exceed 4 meters in length, becoming authentic giants of pelagic waters. Its characteristic sword is not used to pierce large animals, but to strike and disorient schools of fish before the attack. Its hydrodynamic body is designed to move with enormous speed through ocean currents. The swordfish detects a school of fish in open waters and begins to approach, taking advantage of the cover of the deep blue. It closes the distance quickly while following the group's movements and selects the best position to attack. When the precise moment arrives, it pierces the school at great speed and swings its sword to disorganize the prey before capturing them. The hunt ends in a few seconds because the combination of speed and precision makes the swordfish an extremely effective predator. In the open ocean, the swordfish represents the elegance and power of a hunter that has perfected the art of speed over millions of years. In the icy waters of Antarctica, where icebergs float like wandering mountains, the leopard seal emerges as one of the most feared predators of the Southern Ocean. Its scientific name is Hydroga leptonix, a species specialized in hunting within one of the most extreme environments on the planet. It can exceed 3 meters in length and possesses a long, flexible body perfectly adapted for moving under the ice. Unlike many other seals, it combines speed, agility, and powerful jaws to capture a wide variety of prey. Fish, squid, krill, and seabirds are part of its diet, although penguins occupy a prominent place. Near the ice edges, numerous penguins must launch into the water to search for food away from their colonies. However, beneath the surface, a hunter much faster than it appears may be waiting. The leopard seal detects a penguin swimming near an ice shelf and begins to follow it from the depths. It approaches silently, using the shadows of the water and the reflections of the ice to hide its presence. When the distance is minimal, it accelerates explosively and launches the attack before the prey reaches a safe zone. The hunt ends quickly because in Antarctic waters, speed and surprise usually decide the fate of the prey. In addition to penguins, it also captures fish and other marine animals that live under the polar ice. Its presence exerts constant pressure on numerous species, contributing to the natural balance of Antarctic ecosystems. As an apex predator, it occupies one of the highest levels of the food chain in the waters of the extreme south of the planet. In the Antarctic Ocean, the leopard seal represents a perfect combination of speed, adaptation, and power within a world governed by ice. Over the indomitable waters of the Southern Ocean, where waves rise like silver mountains and the frigid wind tears the sky, an indefatigable glider emerges. The wandering albatross is not just a bird. It is the absolute sovereign of the air currents, a navigator that has made the horizon its only home. With a wingspan reaching 3.5 meters, it possesses the longest wings of any living bird, a masterpiece of natural engineering. This 12-kilogram giant can spend entire years at sea without touching land, even sleeping while gliding over the abyss. Its survival depends on a technique called dynamic soaring, extracting energy from the wind to fly thousands of kilometers with minimal effort. It navigates the air highways at a constant speed of 40 kilometers per hour, patrolling the blue desert in search of squid and fish. In this world of infinite water, solitude is its constant companion, and endurance is its only guarantee against hunger. It possesses an extraordinary sense of smell, capable of detecting a food source dozens of kilometers away in the middle of the mist. It uses thermal currents to soar and then glides toward the surface, brushing the crests of the waves with millimeter precision. A massive storm rises with 15-meter high waves that threaten to engulf everything in their path. The albatross leans against the gale, using the fury of the air of hundreds of newtons to soar over the chaos. In only 3 seconds, it escapes the water trap and disappears among the low clouds, leaving behind the violence of the sea. The wandering albatross teaches us that true freedom is not the absence of storms, but the ability to use them to fly higher. It is the indomitable spirit of the ocean, a reminder that life can thrive in the loneliest reaches of the earth. As long as the wind keeps blowing over the deep blue, the great glider will continue writing its eternal story in the air. In the frigid waters of the Southern Ocean, where ice dominates the landscape and light barely penetrates the surface, beats the invisible engine of marine life. The Antarctic krill is nothing more than a small crustacean 6 centimeters long, but its importance is colossal for the balance of the Earth. With a biomass estimated in hundreds of millions of tons, these tiny beings are the foundation that sustains the largest giants on the planet. From the 190,000 kilogram blue whale to seabirds and penguins, all depend on this silver tide of pure energy. Suddenly, the water churns as a massive 30-meter mouth opens to filter millions of individuals in a single instant. Only 3 seconds of massive feeding are enough for the fate of thousands of krill to become the fuel that moves the oceans. The krill teaches us that in the vast blue cosmos, the survival of the most powerful sovereigns always depends on the humblest and smallest beings. Beneath the blue surface, invisible rivers of water flow with a force that shapes the destiny of entire continents. Ocean currents are the Earth's arteries, transporting heat, nutrients, and life through thousands of kilometers of the abyss. In upwelling zones, frigid waters from the bottom ascend loaded with minerals, creating the most fertile hunting grounds in the world. Here, where plankton blooms in the billions, the ocean's silver armies gather, massive clouds of sardines and herrings. The scent of abundance travels through the water, attracting apex predators from the remotest corners of the globe. The bluefin tuna cuts through the current like a projectile, maintaining its internal temperature while patrolling these liquid frontiers. Mako and white sharks follow chemical signals, becoming lethal shadows that patrol the edge of warm currents. Giants like the humpback whale navigate thousands of kilometers, using these marine routes as infallible guides to their annual banquets. Suddenly, the surface explodes as thousands of predators converge on a single cloud of fish, beginning the feast of death. Orcas coordinate their attacks from below, while gannets plunge like living arrows from the sky at 100 kilometers per hour. Just 3 seconds of absolute chaos are enough for the water to turn silver and red under the impact of tons of brute force. The storm of teeth and scales ends as fast as it began, leaving only remains that will feed the scavengers of the abyss. However, global warming alters these ancient roots, threatening to shut down the thermal engines that sustain oceanic life. The currents teach us that nothing in the sea exists in isolation. Every drop is connected in an infinite web of energy. As long as the invisible rivers keep flowing, the planet's blue heart will continue to beat with the wild force of survival. The blue heart of the planet, which has beaten strongly for eons, faces today a dangerous arrhythmia caused by the hand of man. Waters are warming rapidly, increasing more than 1 degree Celsius in critical regions and altering the currents that sustain life. Glaciers are vanishing, depriving polar bears and seals of their hunting platform in a world that becomes liquid and hostile. Millions of tons of plastic float like islands of poison, suffocating turtles and confusing the giants that filter the water. Industrial fishing nets, extending for more than 10 kilometers, empty the oceans and trap dolphins and whales in a deadly embrace. Acoustic pollution from large vessels breaks the silence of the abyss, deafening sperm whales and cutting off their communication songs. In this crisis scenario, many species find themselves on the edge of the precipice, fighting for a space that no longer belongs to them. Only 3 seconds of collective indifference can mean the definitive loss of a biological legacy that took millions of years to create. Protecting the ocean is not an option. It is an absolute necessity to ensure the survival of every being that breathes on Earth. We must reduce our footprint, clean the coasts, and establish marine sanctuaries where nature can heal its wounds in peace. The future of the giants depends on our ability to understand that the sea is not an infinite resource, but a living and fragile organism. Wildlife teaches us that balance is the only way to prosper, and that respect is the bridge to eternity. May the song of the whales and the trail of the sharks remain the soul of our blue planet for generations to come. In the end, only those who care for the abyss will be able to inherit the magic of a world where water is the origin of all hope. The sovereigns of the depths are watching us, waiting for man to wake up and protect the last wild sanctuary of creation. Subscribe to the channel to not miss our next content. Don't forget to share your opinions through the comments section